And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Rasta Report here on Sundays on LAB Radio. We call this the Mastermind, where we get together our distinguished panel and we look at what is happening in the world today. We look at culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date, it's Sunday. This is the 1st of February, 2026 in the Gregorian Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6266 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com. Aquaba. And that means welcome to each and every one of you. What a joy it is to be with you today. I wish the computers would say so as well. But we're going to do the best we can with what we've got. And I'm going to do the best we can. I had this problem on Thursday. It just nothing would log in. And I've got the same problem again today. And literally on Thursday, we gave up on it. I just quit 6 minutes into the show, and I literally just said, hey, heck with it. I'm going to click a few buttons here. Bear with me in the background. We do have our panel joining us, and let me welcome in Brother Dwara. I'm going to add you to the stage right now, even though I got to say, this is really confusing today. Are you in the house, Brother Dwara?
I am in the house, Baba. It's great to be with you. Shikamo and Ubuntu Ma'at to the global LIB radio family.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Can I get you to just kind of fly with it for just a minute or so? I'm going to see what I can do to make this thing run better in the background.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Baba. So one of the articles that I pulled up today, very interesting, is as you may have heard, they dropped a lot of new Epstein files, and one of them is making me smile because every time one of our adversaries is had some information leaked about them, that I think is a good day and a very
All
interesting
right.
day.
I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time following you. Go ahead, keep talking. It's breaking up real bad on my. I'll see what I can do to fix it.
Okay, yeah, it's breaking up on my end too, Baba. It's very glitchy. Sounds very kind of distorted, but I'll definitely keep talking. So going to this article
Mm-hmm.
here, this is from Slay News, and it's entitled "Disturbing Allegations Against Bill Gates Emerge in the New Epstein Files," and this is very interesting. Apparently he contracted STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, from Russian prostitutes. It doesn't say whether those prostitutes were provided to him by Epstein or not, but Epstein is seen and witnessed in the files having an exchange with Bill Gates. Because Bill Gates tried to shut down his friendship, apparently, with Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein ended up throwing a bunch of information in his face as if almost a veiled threat. And again, mentioned having contracted a sexually transmitted disease from Russian prostitutes. And Bill Gates asking Jeffrey Epstein how he could secretly obtain antibiotics and then also secretly, surreptitiously give those antibiotics to his wife
Mm.
without her knowledge. Very interesting.
Wow. So I was just about to ask, does
Mm.
this appear to be the reason that Bill Gates' wife left him and took half the money?
That's exactly what I was thinking, and that's exactly where I was going to go with it because Melinda Gates' stated reason for divorcing her husband, Bill Gates, was because of his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. That was her legally stated reason for divorce.
Wow. That's pretty scandalous. Now,
Indeed.
we take scandal on the part of Urugu, the Kronos man.
Mhm. Mhm.
We take it rather lightly. You and I can
Yes,
laugh at it. Now,
exactly.
I came across something that was in the Epstein files that was unfortunately not funny at all.
Mm.
And it had to do with Epstein's uh, publicist,
Okay.
Peggy Siegel.
Mm.
And we do recognize Peggy Siegel was of the same ethnicity as Jeffrey Epstein.
Mhm.
And I do think that does matter, especially when you look at what was going on, all the context. Peggy Siegel is seen photographed in photographs with, what was the guy? Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, or
Right, right.
Weinstein, I can't remember which one it is. But
Mhm.
she's also was his publicist as well.
Interesting.
And and I put together a file on this. Now let me see if I can pull this up in the background. But
Sure.
the thing is that when she was writing an email to Jeffrey Epstein, and the FBI releases, and the FBI did acknowledge, they did collaborate that the email was real. And she's
Right.
writing an email talking about upcoming travel plans. She's on the road. She's, I think, headed to New Amsterdam to catch a flight to Kenya.
Mhm.
And she
Mhm.
says, "Do you want me to bring you back a child or two?
My
Do
goodness.
you prefer a
Wow.
boy or a girl?"
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
the Google's web searches, their AI web searches, want
Mhm.
to act as if this is just email chatter, just a bunch
Right.
of hyperbole and
Right.
nonsense on the email. But
Right.
I went around and we did confirm that the FBI called this email legitimate. And she says, Google says that she was just being facetious. She was just joking around because she mentioned going to East Africa, to Kenya, so she would look up some of Obama's relatives there. But here's the thing, the problem of child trafficking
Yes.
in Kenya
Yes.
is very serious.
Yes.
It is estimated that 20,000 children disappear every year to child trafficking. And
Mm.
she said specifically she was going to hang out with the Maasai, and then she made the joke, no joke, about, "Do you want me to bring you back a child or two?" And was she referred to Madonna during the same thing. Now, here's what I did. I went in and I looked all of this up, and I sent this to a group of journalists in
Mhm.
East Africa. And unfortunately, I just closed that page to make this thing run a
Sure.
little better. It
That's
is
okay.
running a little better, and I'm not going to open up that page again. But if
Mhm.
anybody's curious about it, they will be able to get the information from me. So I'm looking right here, and I have investigating defenders of Siegel. Her name again is Peggy Siegel, such as Howard Bragman, argues she has been unfairly targeted by misogynistic scapegoating, while male billionaires with deeper ties to Epstein remain unscathed. You were talking about Bill Gates.
Right. Right.
From an auditing perspective, Siegel's professional demise is a genuine result, is a direct result of her transactional business model. And she, but I just want to investigate, the investigation into Siegel Epstein symbiosis reveals a profound systemic vulnerability in elite social structures. Now,
Mhm.
what she is doing is that she is allowing Jeffrey Epstein, after he has been convicted
Victor.
of the
Right.
child, of the earlier case,
Right. Right.
she's helping to rehabilitate him in the social network of Hollywood. Now, here's a couple of quotes. The investigation into Siegel Epstein um, found profound systemic vulnerability in elite social structures, while
Mhm.
forensic auditing clarifies that the quote, Kenya baby email was an online fabrication. That's Google talking, that's not FBI
Right,
talking.
right,
The
right.
existence of a 20,000 child per year trafficking industry in the region makes any flippant or playful association with the region a matter of extreme ethical concern. Now, let me ask you this.
Hmm.
How many times have you ever referred in an email about you traveling to Kenya, or Ethiopia, to
Hmm.
Kemet? When have you ever written, do you want me to bring you back a baby, a boy or a girl?
Never, never, nor, nor would I ever have a reason to insinuate such even a joke, even though this is not a joke. I would never even joke about that.
That's absolutely right. You would never joke about doing the same thing where you're traveling to a European country, to a country where child and sexual trafficking is rampant. You would never, I would never even think about this.
Ever.
But it's just, this is going on. So I just want to show you just a little bit more of this. I spent half of a day putting this together because I have a group of investigative journalists in Kenya, the Elephant Group, and I forwarded this big package of information to them.
Okay.
And I would share it or comment on it, but I closed the WhatsApp. Everything is acting crazy today. But here's the thing.
Hmm.
Conclusion: systemic vulnerabilities and the mandate for accountability. The
Hmm.
investigation into the Siegel Epstein symbiosis reveals a profound systemic vulnerability in elite social structures. The Siegel case demonstrates how, quote, reputation laundering, unquote, by social gatekeepers provides a necessary cover for predators to operate within high society. The
Hmm.
swift professional collapse of her business services as a warning that the willful blindness of corporate gatekeepers is no longer a viable business model. However, the mandate for accountability remains incomplete until we dismantle the social structure that prioritizes the mixed and exclusive access over human rights and ethical auditing. So that's just a little excerpt of this report that I put together. Um, your thoughts? I mean, I can and you can, we can easily laugh at Bill Gates' dilemma. I don't think we would necessarily joke about Bill Gates' activities in Eastern Africa, but his
No,
dilemma, it
no,
caught
no.
up with him with the Russian prostitutes, and it probably cost him not only his marriage, but billions and billions, tens of billions of dollars, which,
Exactly.
according, if you have that much money, tens of billions of dollars may not mean much to you. Your thoughts?
My thoughts on this are wow. It is no laughing matter. Child trafficking is real for all those that have seen the phenomenal film The Sound of Freedom, which, in my opinion, rips one of the many lids off of this endemic problem throughout the world. Uh, I think if most people got a peek behind the curtain, they would be disgusted at what goes on. We can talk about the Franklin scandal in Omaha, Nebraska. We can talk about the Finders cult. We can talk about the child sex ring slash snuff film murder cult that existed in Brussels, Belgium. We can talk about the Presidio, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
pronouncing that right, Air Force Base or Navy base, and the scandal that went
Mm-hmm.
on there with children, and many of the children being found to have STDs and having been sexually abused there. Uh, People would be amazed at the reality that intelligence agencies around the world use children in honeypot operations for
Mm-hmm.
they call it blackmail, I call it white mail, because
Mm-hmm.
that's usually the ones who are doing these things, white males, right? Um, And the reality is that we need to continue uncovering what is actually going on the continent with these sick and nefarious people, because as Whitney Webb investigated and reported on, Jeffrey Epstein had deep ties in Africa and was connected to an individual by the name of Benjamin Goertzel, who was experimenting on Ethiopian children. And there was a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Jeffrey Epstein himself, according to Whitney Webb, admitted openly to experimenting on children, and he didn't go into detail, but experimenting on African children, essentially, and Africa being a testing
Mm.
ground for experimentation.
Mm. Yeah. We're going to do the best we can to expose all of this going on.
I'll say.
And that's why people tune in to the mastermind on Sundays. Now, I'm double checking right now, and unfortunately, my Rumble page is not connecting over here to, and I can't read anyone who's trying to send me a message or whatever on Rumble, and it doesn't even tell me anyone's tuned in, and I know that's not right. We're doing the best we can,
I'll
and
say.
could it be? Because this reminds me of the old days, of a
I
year,
remember.
10 years or more ago,
I
when
remember.
LIB radio would just stop working. It would stop working. And okay, I do see it did just connect me with my Rumble message page. Just go to bring it up that these people are probably messing with us.
Hmm.
And I do want to say greetings to each and every one of you. For Africa One checking in, Hotep Mastermind Panel, and Global LB Family. Brother Shabaka is checking in. Greetings, Baba. Panel members and LIB family. It's an awesome day to be alive and
I'll
here with
say.
you. That's a great, great thought. And then we're going to say greetings to Eddie McCroy and Joshua K. Empower, both of whom are in the Rumble, the YouTube page. Joshua says Grand Rising, brother. Eddie says Grand Rising to the LB family. And so we welcome all of you. I apologize for the struggles that I've been having today, pulling the net in together. I will
Hmm.
say this much. We have
Hmm.
good news. I did just put up a new website. Now, today's the first
Nice.
day of February. I'm
Uh-huh.
I have I'm into the fourth stage of my plan for 2026.
Okay.
The first stage of the plan would be beginning January 1st. I was going to be very strict on my daily routine for my health because I'm going to live to plus 122 years pending a fatal accident.
I see.
And secondly, during the month of January, I turned off all the unnecessary subscriptions and saved myself about $100 or more a month.
I see.
And not necessarily all of them were unnecessary. I had to turn one back on, Adobe Acrobat. I need Adobe Acrobat to publish the next book.
Sure.
Point three, I have a new book ready to go after this weekend. And I'm very excited. I think you've heard about my new book, The Conscious Roots.
I have. It's one of the most. I'm smiling over here from ear to ear, Baba. It's one of the most anticipated books that I am ready. I'm just so ready to digest this content. I've been following along on some of the daily broadcasts. You
Mm-hmm.
were nice enough to bless me and Baba Junius with the LM Notebook slideshow
Mm-hmm.
presentation, and I hope you got some of my feedback on that. And yeah, I'm just very much looking forward to this. This is gonna be big. This is gonna be big.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it too. So the next phase of my unfolding will be February and March. I'm doubling up on all my work activities. I'm cutting social media down by 90%, and I don't
Mhm.
engage in a whole lot, but I'm
Sure,
cutting it
sure.
down another 90% and dedicate that all to listening. And also, during the
Mhm.
2 months, I have 61 books out now. I'm going to
Mm.
use the 60 days of the 2 months, so I guess it'll be 59 days, to promote each and every one of my books and get my book sales up to the point where they were 5, 10 years ago when I
Mhm.
could actually technically live off of Conscious Rasta Press. And so I did just launch a new Conscious Rasta Press website. It's still working action. I was actually working on it this morning, figuring
Mhm.
out how to put this video in the new website so that people can go to consciousrastapress.com and they will be able to see these videos in there. You just have to click a link or two. So I'm excited about that.
No, that's awesome, Baba. Conscious Rasta Press.
.com.
.com.
And that's an HTTPS. It's a secure signal this time because it's going through a web design platform. And so I want to say greetings. Brother Juma is in the house joining us today. Great to have you with us today, Brother Juma. You know you are really appreciated. In fact, For Africa One is in the house. Shabaka is in the house. And Juma is in the house. And you know something? Those were the first three people to buy the new book.
Mm. There you go. There you go. Add me to that list. I'm gonna be number 4.
All right, great to have you
Hopefully,
in the house, and
hopefully number 144. But nonetheless, I'll definitely be on that list.
we appreciate love you for being there. And everyone, I
I'll say.
am because we are.
I'll say.
Eddie writes a message. He says, "Is there any reason why the trucking industry is always tied to trafficking?" Mm, I've not really noticed that, but I can see how it would be tied together. Trucks are, of course, a way to um, obscure the passengers that are being transported. But
Right.
we there's something to be paying attention to, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And Google is in the house. He says Sawabona. That means I see you. Great to have you with us today. And Baba Junius, I don't know if he sent out a message, but I missed it.
Mhm.
I am last couple of days I've been editing on the book and it's been crazy around here, especially retuning a whole new website. Oof,
Right.
it's a lot of work. But I finally got LAB Radio and LAB TV up today, and so I'm excited about that.
No, that's great, Baba. I'm excited about that as well. One thing that I admire deeply and greatly, and I appreciate love about you, is your perseverance, your
Hmm.
persistence, and your resilience, Baba. I mean, that is a masterclass in and of itself. You always come back with the next great idea. If something doesn't work out, you pivot and you throw a couple of juke moves on the world, and you spin around, and you come back even stronger, more powerful.
Mm.
Your resilience is unbelievable. It is a masterclass for any and all who listen to you, Baba.
Well, I appreciate love that. One of the reasons that I am able to do exactly what you say, and as you were saying that, I think I'm gonna go back and type everything you just said out, and that's gonna be my morning mantra.
There you go. I
But
appreciate that.
one of the
Indeed.
reasons it's the alchemist pledge that I do.
Mm,
You've seen the
mhm.
alchemist pledge.
I have. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And that alchemist pledge is it's a prayer between myself, the creator, and the ancestors, the creatress and the ancestors. And
Mhm.
when I make that alchemist pledge, and I try and do it daily, it's been a while since I've been having it up. But as I do the alchemist pledge, it fires me up to the core of my spirit, my soul, my ego.
Mhm.
And quite simply, I have to do now what I just pledged to the ancestors and to all the great ones who came before us that I pledged I would do. And so it keeps us on track. I advise all of us to have a mantra, to have a pledge, to have something like that that can tune us in to ourselves and do it very, very seriously. Do it until you've done it so many times you've memorized the whole thing.
Mm. That's beautiful. I wholeheartedly agree. Many of my mantras and affirmations are in the form of kind of morning prayers.
Mm-hmm.
and it excites me. It sets the tone for the day. I mean, if we're talking about all this programming and we're complaining and lauding on and on about this programming from Urugu and all that, well, that just means we have to have a counter program to that programming. And that is why I do my mantras, my affirmations, my prayers, my meditations, whatever you want to call it, in the morning, because it sets the program for the day. I am setting the tone for my day. I am in control of the tone that I set for my day.
Hmm. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. As we set the tone for the day, we are giving ourselves marching orders. And
Mhm.
we are also drawing to us the spirits, the souls who are out here who would be collaborative, cooperating with us. And
Indeed.
it's amazing that this deep spiritual self comes to the surface, and it just feels like we're girded, I'm shielded in armor and
Hmm.
protected
Hmm.
from the worst that the Chronos man, that's what I'm calling you Rugu now,
I
Chronos
like that.
man,
Chronos
it's
man.
it oh it overcomes the worst of what the Chronos man. In the new book, I refer to the Chronos man, and I contrast that with crown us.
Crown us, indeed.
Our vibe
Indeed.
is we crown ourselves. Yeah, while Cronus man, he do what he do.
Right, right. Destruction, man.
Someone asked
Destruction.
me, could I just pledge or chant? Yeah, man. Someone just asked me to pledge, and Guru's in the house. Could you say or chant your pledge for those of us who have not heard it? I'll have to find it. It's in one of my books. I'm trying to remember which book
Panic.
it's in. Do you
It's in,
remember which
it's in
book it's in?
yeah, it's in
I know
Panic.
you've read it. Panic?
Yeah, I believe it's in
Okay.
Panic.
Okay, let me grab Panic off the shelf. Okay. And thank you for remembering, man. You are just such a genius, and I
I'm
appreciate
a
love that
disciple,
about
Baba.
you. You got such a well.
I appreciate
Then
you.
I
I appreciate
reflect
love
that
you,
back
Baba.
on us.
Indeed.
That's right.
Indeed.
So
I
I'm going
appreciate
to see if I have that handy. It's probably in the appendix.
yeah, I think it was in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'll find it. Give me a second, and then we'll chant that. It does take 3 or 4 minutes to read, but it's not too bad.
It's a
Um,
powerful piece. Powerful piece.
hmm
The other thing that you mentioned that I love
Yes.
is the fact that oftentimes we kind of chump pass on spirituality and we make it seem like this spooky wishy-washy
hmm
thing, but the reality is that our ancestors understood, and we need to re-understand that spirituality is what, like you said, undergirds us. It braces us. It is the foundation we need in order to get through these storms as a people. And so if you don't
hmm
have some type of foundational spiritual system, even if that's just a mantra in the morning that gets you up and sets the tone for the day, then life is going to be so much inextricably harder for you and for us as a people. And so what I love about spirituality and spiritual systems is they allow us to feed off of the medicine that they give us in order to stabilize us. This is part of spirituality is a huge part of holistic health and wellness.
That's
Nature is
right.
spiritual. That reconnection with Mama Nature. So I remember them saying during COVID, those that did not have a plan were the ones that were ill-fated to suffer the most during that time. So spirituality really is a plan, and it's a foundation that one can use to anchor oneself to again weather all these storms. That's why it's important to me.
That's right. That is so very true. And spirituality, as opposed to religion.
Ashe. Yes.
Please explain the distinction.
So for me, religion is external. It's superficial. It's externalistic. It has to do with dogma and doctrine. It has to do with control. It has to do with the ego. It has to do with needing everyone else to believe what you believe in your God complex, so to speak.
Mm,
Where, whereas spirituality is internal. It is connecting to a higher force or a higher power. You can call it the universe, you can call it the cosmos, you can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it Yahweh, you can call it
mm-hmm,
Oladumare, you can call it Nkulu Nkulu, you can call it
mm,
Atum, you can call it Amun Ra. That indwelling life force that connects
mm.
all of us through Ubuntu and through Ma'at, it's indwelling. You do not need anyone to believe exactly as you believe. You
That's
accept
right.
that everyone has the freedom, the will to be able to believe whatever they want, but that we're all connected with the
Mm-hmm.
threads of Ubuntu. Um, and that that ultimately is what not only interconnects all of us, but keeps all of us grounded as well.
And you just named about 8 or 10 or 12 pathways that an innate spirituality will lead us through. And those are just the African centered pathways. We're not even going to dwell on what our cousins who have bought into the Stockholm syndrome, what
Right.
they believe.
Yeah.
Although I will say that spirituality, even along those pathways, does help many people to find their core, their center, and to move positively through the world.
Exactly. And
A couple of comments. Oh,
I
go
say,
ahead. And your point.
oh, I was just going to quickly say that the most important thing, no matter what one's tradition or spiritual foundation is your walk and your word one. Are you
Mm,
living what you're believing? Are you living what you're teaching and preaching? Are you living what you claim to espouse as the truth? As long as that is the case, then I'd say that one is on a good path.
I say, yo. A couple of comments have come in. We do see Oseo come out, has joined us as well. Greetings, LIB family. For Africa One, she wrote, yes, Brother Keaty is Marcus Garvey, Malcolm
Mm.
X,
I say,
Imhotep,
I
George
say,
Washington Carver,
I
Dr.
say,
Sabi,
I say,
all rolled into one beautiful soul.
I
And
say. What
wonderful.
a compliment.
Brother,
What a compliment.
what a compliment. And that's my beloved sister. She is awesome. And she is, I must say, kind of like my twin moving
Hmm.
through our individual worlds. We complement each other wonderfully.
I
And
say.
Nguvu wrote, could you say or chant your pledge for those of us who have not heard it? And I did find it. It was actually in the book, which came out
Fade to black.
right next to, is in the book Big Up Manhood.
Oh, big up manhood. Okay, okay. My mistake.
So it's in the back. Under affirmations, page 125, the alchemist pledge.
Mm.
I swear before Ra, the almighty force of energy. I swear before the great mother goddess. Her womb is the source of life. I swear before all the mighty forces of nature, the Neteru and Orishas. I swear before the great ancestors, saints, and the martyrs. I swear before the wise and esteemed elders of my global community. I swear before all the children, the babies, and their mothers. I swear before all the brave ones whom we trust to carry the spear. I pledge before all of my great family who assemble as one that I am prepared to step up to all of the duties and responsibilities required of me as an alchemist. I am pledged in any and all circumstances to transform that which is dull into that which is brilliant. I am sensitized to every opportunity to confront all challenges and to master over problems that have put all humanity in peril. I will move forward to build steamships, to educate our youth to preeminence through the mastery of all sciences. I will redirect the old enslaving forces of fear and panic into liberating ideologies that forge a new pathway to sustainable development. I will be constant in my creativity, sensitivity, positive alignment, and resourcefulness, all toward forging a new pathway to sustainable development. I am the alchemist. I turn that which is dull into that which is brilliant. I am energized by the sun, purified and given life by the waters, grounded in the pristine earth of my mother continent, and given wings by the breath of life, whose airs project my vision over the horizons. I am the alchemist. I am at once the past, present, and the future. I am that I am. I am Ka. I am the alchemist.
I see.
And that
I
is
see.
the alchemist pledge. And we understand the power of self affirmation. It's an incredible power.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I do hope you do appreciate it. I do see Gus has joined us in this family today. He says, religion of conquerors, John
Mm.
Clark. And that's very, very powerful. Religion, the handmaid of conquerors.
Method of control.
You have a comment on that?
I think it's breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can
Can
hear
you?
you. That's fine. I apologize for the problem.
Sure. No problem at all.
And I'm
Yeah, I
here
would.
typing in the connection to the new website.
Okay. Yeah, I would just say method of control. Religion equals methods of control.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit of a delay, Baba.
Because everybody is going to be here in just a second. It's frozen. And I think this is Rumble. It's giving a problem. And it's unfortunate. We're breakthrough trying to get it closed in these browsers right now.
Hmm.
And I do see a comment from Brother
Yeah, it seems like
Tao
it's coming through a little bit
Kamasi
better now.
in Quail. Okay, it is coming through better. It was the Rumble page is acting really weird today. It's been acting weird all morning. Tao is in the house. He wrote, quote, Europeans steal the sciences, erase the spirituality, sells the aesthetic, and then shames the original people. Close quote. That from Dr. John Henrik Clark. And enough respect. Thank you for joining us, Brother Tao Kamasi Mkweli. What a beautiful name. What a beautiful brother. We welcome you to the family. I hope you join us on a regular basis. And I did put up the link to the website, and I put it up in Rumble, and let me put it over here on the YouTube as well.
Website looks great, Baba.
Uh-huh.
Website looks really good.
All
Nice and
right.
clean, streamline. Love it.
All right. I'm just going to type in web is the new web site at https the www dot no not that all that stuff's so necessary, and it's conscious rasta press.com. Did you see the logo on there as well?
I did. The logo's new. I love it. Conscious Rasta Press with a
Mm-hmm.
mighty lion on it.
Yes, man, that's what we I deal with.
Indeed,
And I'm
indeed, man.
very
Love it.
happy to be presenting this to everybody. Okay.
Yes.
So, what else do we have to put on the table for today?
You know, Baba, I didn't get to do as much research as I had wanted to, but I did pull up a couple of things. There's a an article via CBS, but quoted by Cryptagon.com, and it's called Eugenics, IVF, or in vitro fertilization, genetic optimization. Now, this is some really crazy stuff. Talk about Chronos Man or Cro-Magnon Man, um, doing some crazy things. So there's a company that a 25-year-old founder and CEO. His name is Keon Sedechi, and he has started a company called Nucleus Genomics. And essentially, he is pushing to breed super babies. And this is some real sci-fi stuff right here, but
Mm.
it's not even sci-fi. It's sci reality at this point. For $30,000, the Nucleus Genomics offers a program called IVF Plus, which includes full DNA scans of both parents and up to 20 embryos conceived through in vitro fertilization. The results come back in the form of a sleek, user-friendly menu, advanced DNA screenings. The company screens embryo samples from more than
Mm.
2,000 traits and conditions, including, you get to choose eye color, hair color, intelligence level, and
Mm.
even acne. You can even choose whether your child has acne or not. It can also estimate genetic predispositions to medical conditions such as depression, autism, and
This is
bipolar
straight
disorder.
out.
Yes. Please
No,
continue.
such as.
Such as depression, autism, and
No, we have
bipolar disorder.
a gap in our link. Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm. This is straight out of Brave New World, but
I agree. I agree. Seems like there's a little bit
and
of a
you say
delay.
nucleus dynamics. I on my web, and I'm giving it to you, our listening audience. You can have this with as my, yeah, my web page is acting real bad today. We're going to do what we can push through. We're our servers, and servers always adapt. This is so
Indeed.
frustrating. Here, let me just I copy the link. Let me close the page and see what I can do. Mm. And my browser is freezing up right now. Let's just do the best we can. Do with me, brother Dwara? I know he didn't hang up.
Yeah, yes, I can hear you. It seems like it's a little
Yep.
disconnected in terms of the delay.
All right. Um, we're pushing through it. I am
Indeed. Can you
going to. I did push the link up. It's on my face. It's on my Facebook page, and I push it up on YouTube as well. So please do check that out. And it's just crazy today.
that technology, that crazy
We're,
technology.
and I'm gonna. Yeah, I hear bursts of you coming through about once every half minute. So
Mm,
I'm going to go ahead. We have a couple more stories that I put on the table for today. I think this is a very powerful story.
okay.
This story, latest, makes it clear that the East Wind, quote, Balm project intertwined underground bunker overhaul, and multiple surface sources now confirm that the bunker, not the ballroom, is driving much of the urgency and secrecy. And I'm just going to read through this. Let me know if you can hear it at any given point. Just interrupt.
Okay. Thank you,
What
Bob.
the updates actually show. Point: Trump's East Wing renovation may include a quote top secret bunker beneath below the White House ballroom. Trump's East Wing renovation may include, oh, I read that. Multiple reports indicate White House East Wing mission, publicly framed as preparation for a new 90,000 square foot ballroom, also conceals a classified reconstruction of the decades old underground bunker originally built during FDR's presidency. Sources told CNN the bunker is being rebuilt with new defensive technology designed to counter evolving threats. Officials have repeatedly cited the top secret nature of the bunker work as the main as reason construction began before required federal reviews.
Mm.
The ballroom is the public facing project. The Trump administration continues to present the above ground ballroom as the primary project, but court filings and planning commission discussions show that the underground facility is the real driver of the timeline. Couple more points. Legal and political tension preservation groups and federal judges have questioned whether the administration has the authority to proceed without proper review, especially given the secrecy surrounding the bunker. And last point, bottom line, the ballroom update is widely understood across CNN, People, Newsweek, and Planning Commission testimony to be a cover up for a major bunker reconstruction, with the ballroom functioning as the visible justification for a much more sensitive underground project. You want to comment?
It doesn't surprise me. Seems like building a gold ballroom is the perfect cover for something more advanced, more. Uh, I'm not even sure what to call it, but yeah, that's very interesting. And then at the same time, I hear Baba Junius in the back of my head whispering limited hangout, in that they give you a little bit of information so as to not have to reveal the whole entire thing. So who knows? Maybe it's not even built under the bunker. I mean, under the ballroom. Maybe that's even just a cover. But it is fascinating, and it does come to mind the bolt holes, many of which are in New Zealand, that supposedly a lot of the billionaires have constructed in the case of a worldwide global emergency situation like nuclear war.
Mm-hmm. And it reminds us of so many films we've seen where the bunker is stories and stories deep.
Right, right, right.
And this bunker is said to be able to resist nuclear explosions, would have to be deeper than the U.S. bunker busting bomb could go.
Exactly.
Because if U.S. can build a bomb that can penetrate to 5,000 feet underneath the ground, then it's a presumption that if they don't already have the capacity, either Russia or China would be able to develop the same thing. So, what if Donald Trump et al. Are in the elevator and they're headed down to the bunker when one of those nor'easter storms that's blowing through the East Coast right now comes through and cuts off all the electricity and disrupts the whole thing, and whoever is in the elevator gets stuck and they can't get out and they end up just wasting away.
You know, it I'm sure they have numerous fail safes to ensure that something like that doesn't happen. Surely they have, I'm sure, numerous backup generation systems, backup generators. And then at the very least, if the elevator was to get stuck, I'm sure there is a series of ladders that are permanently mounted to the internal infrastructure. But I do love this. I do love the thought, and it does make me smile. So thank you for that.
Well, perhaps they may have already perfected a what they call it in Star Trek, where they just beam me up, Scotty.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
they'll have
exactly.
that in the elevator, and so they just beam them to anywhere they want to go. Or maybe
Well,
they'll beam them up to the Star Trek ship.
yeah, there you go. The mothership that is perpetually floating above us right now. Absolutely. And speaking of motherships, I recently read that Elon Musk wants to put 1 million SpaceX satellites into orbit. 1 million, and have uh, uh, a literal Milky Way of galaxies. I
Mm.
mean, excuse me, a Milky Way of satellites. But this goes
Hmm.
back to the control grid that we've been reading about, and how yeah, crazy stuff. But I did read that earlier from an article. 1 million satellites they're proposing launching through SpaceX to kind of undergird the whole entire planet with a data information space center.
And then those things start crashing into each other. 100 million, you would think that it's going to, I mean, space is huge, but it's going to create such a cluster and
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
clutter that it'll make a near Earth orbit unusable for people who might want to go through it. Now, you're saying that as and I don't have this handy on my desktop. I normally create a folder with all this in,
Hmm.
but I heard that just this past week, Iran knocked out the satellite system for accessing what's it called? It's Starlink.
Starlink. Yeah,
Iran
yeah.
knocked Starlink out over Iran, and they targeted it using a Chinese developed system for setting up strategic jammers. And they
Mm.
were able to neutralize a bunch of the Starlink connections that were allowing people to secretly communicate in and out of Iran. Did you hear that story?
I did not hear that story. No, but that's very interesting. I know China is
Yeah, I'll see if
supplying.
I can find it. Hmm.
Mhm. I know China is
They are
supplying.
supplying,
Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
and Russia as well are
Right.
supplying Iran with advanced scanning, or not scanning, jamming tools. And
Yes.
so this is going to be really, really interesting as we're kind of stuck in this these cycles of play, counterplay, counterplay, counterplay. It's a endless spiral, and it
Hmm.
only goes to show how dangerous this is getting. Because as these things get tuned in and refined and then are set to go automatic using AI, there arises the dangerous thought that the AI will somehow take control, get out of control, or
Yes.
external control, or whatever. And
I think
that
that's been
with
proven.
this external control, that can put us all on a short course, a one-way course to the degradation of the whole entire race.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, you bring up bunker busting missiles earlier that are able to penetrate 5,000 feet or whatever into the Earth's crust. Uh, I mean, when you take a step back and you really get a bird's eye view of what's going on, um, it comes down to something that we've mentioned no small number of times, and this is one of the major problems. Urugu believes that superiority means if you can destroy, if you can control, if you can dominate, if you can manipulate, if you can deceive, then you are superior. The African understanding is if you can live at peace, if you can live in balance, if you can live in harmony with other living things, then you are superior. It is the clash of those two cultural worldviews that are really uh, causing this great problem. And I'll go even further to say that obviously, the one that believes that destruction, control, manipulation, domination is superiority, and they're the one advancing all this technology. Well, it's no wonder we're in the state and the condition that we find ourselves in, because these sick and twisted people are being allowed to win the popularity contest. And that is why I push back against some of this, what I call technology, borrowing the term from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Technology, it works against Mother Nature, and it's for deception. It's for destruction. There's always a catch. There's always a hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so serious. I do see Gus had wrote, clicking on your link directly does not connect me to the site, but typing in the URL in my browser does. The site has a great new look, and I did just put that link up again. It should work. And a couple more comments. The Snotball, King Jason writes, 1 million satellites will saturate the night sky and change the
Yes.
way we get to view the sky. I think he's right. You
Yep.
agree with this point?
I do. The article mentioned that, and Elon Musk, in his pompous pretension and arrogance, even used the word wanting to create a constellation of satellites.
Mm. And this constellation of satellites, is that Elon Musk trying to create, uh, trying to be God?
I would say it all. I would say technocracy and transhuman all come down to one thing: that these nerdy scientific, soulless technocrats and transhumanists believe ultimately that they are God, because they believe that there is they do not believe. How do I say this? They they believe in perpetually reinventing the wheel in their ego. You see, we as African people who are aligned and healthy, we understand that humility and self-control are two of the most important core ancestral values. And so
I
that
say.
that precludes us to not try to reinvent the wheel, but to build upon that which was already built. And instead, the hubris, the egomania of Yurugu is such that they uh, they are always trying to create something new and better in their ego, and it's a God complex. As we've said no small number of times, it is a profound God complex. And if we go into that story about Yurugu, Yurugu is the incomplete one, but it is also the self-aborted one, the one that thought itself wiser than the creator, and so it left the womb of Amma before it was set to be born according to divine timing. So even its first action in self-aborting itself from the womb of Amma is an indication that they believe themselves as so superior that they believe nothing's higher than them. But that is the mindset. That is the mindset of a child. That is the mindset of something that cannot conceive of humility nor self-control.
Mm. An incomplete being, Urugu.
Ashe, the self-aborted one.
Ashe. And a few comments have come in from the YouTube. I do see Eddie has announced a new genetic form of creating children is far from new, correct? Patch kids and the orphan trains that were said to be how much of the Midwest of the US was populated? Question mark. I don't have any reference point to that second comment. Do you?
No, I'm not sure what he means by Cabbage Patch Kids. I know of the dolls from back in the day, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
unfamiliar with the orphan trains or Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah, maybe that's where the dolls come from. I'm not sure. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not aware of that.
Well, maybe he can give us a better reference to that. I see Tao Kamasi is in the house. Kamisi is in the house. I like to call it take knowledge G, technology, take knowledge G, because they take our knowledge and leverage it in showmanship to gain the popularity contest, not because it is superior. And I think he does make a good point. He said, for the purpose of take knowledge G, should be to make a better, more holistic man, not to display tools of gamification. Mm, mm, mm. I like what our family is producing today. I wish I
Hmm.
can, wish that we're all acting a little bit better, but we do the best we can, and we do the best we can. For Africa One in the House, she says this link works, and so thank you. Snotball King Jason. I remember a movie called The Orphan Train from the 1980s, and I don't have enough of a reference there, but I guess he's referring to what Eddie did share there as well. There are a couple more points I wanted to get in today for Mastermind. There was, of course, this is interesting. Germany, which is said to be a friend of the United States,
Hmm.
the country of Germany issues a formal travel advisory for the U.S. January 27th. Germany has issued a travel advisory to its citizens traveling to the United States, citing risk linked to immigration enforcement and public order situations. Germany's Federal Foreign Office said on Tuesday that German citizens should be aware of demonstrations and clashes with American migration and security authorities. And that kind of puts to mind the fact that America's friends are, of course, turning in to not so friendly. And it also puts to mind the fact that Canada, which had been quite a good friend to the United States,
Hmm.
and many Canadians would winter in Florida. I saw a video recently, and I confirmed it was very much a trend happening, that the Canadians no longer wintering in Florida was costing the state of Florida something like 800 billion dollars annually in
Wow.
lost revenue.
Wow.
And when you consider a travel advisory from Germany, it's probably not going to add more tourists to come to America. And in fact, we can see they're not showing up here in Las Vegas. Las Vegas has had a very significant decline this year in revenue from tourists coming to Las Vegas. And it's reverberating out into the larger community. Entire community is feeling this now. Your thoughts?
You know, maybe a year ago now, maybe 2 years ago now, we talked about the possibility of a civil war. And I think unanimously we came to the conclusion that it would most likely probably be in pockets of the US, a city here, a
Hmm.
city there, a city there. And with the riots that are going on currently in LA, with the riots that have been going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and several other places. I think it's interesting. You know, it's interesting when we talk about friends of the U.S. because the U.S. was uh, the U.S. blew up the Nord Stream pipeline,
Hmm.
and you know, but Germany is the friend of the U.S. and so Germany issued that warning. To me, it reminds me of when France issued a very similar warning about all its residents traveling to Chicago, and
Mm.
it they gave a very high warning to French citizens via their embassy and their government official websites that anyone traveling to Chicago was advised to sort of change their travel plans or go to another destination. and it was a
Mm,
high alert. So because of the violence, right? So with that being said,
that's right.
it doesn't surprise me, and it makes me think of the deeper situations if this gets out of control. Now, if they are building a secret bunker under the gold ballroom attached to the White House, my the logical question is, what are our people prepared for?
Mm-hmm. Well, some of us are prepared to be allowed into their bunker or bunkers. And some of us are mentally prepared, but not skills or any utility preparedness. Personally, I think we should be planning beyond the Stockholm Syndrome. We should be planning our autonomous, sovereign existence. And the best way to do so would be for you and I and everyone who believes like you and I believe to retract from America and get ourselves out. We might go to Jamaica or to another CARICOM country, but I don't see them as being exempt from this destruction that we're witnessing here. Look at how Trinidad and Tobago collaborating with the takedown of Venezuela. I don't think
Yes,
Trinidad and Tobago did itself any favor in the long run, even
no,
though we recognize that the governance of Trinidad and Tobago is no longer really truly legitimate. There were
right,
so many East Indians who
yes,
moved into Trinidad and they took over the country. I think that
yes.
the Trinidad and Tobago people are no longer under the control of an African centered population.
Certainly not a Pan African one either. Yeah, I agree. Because Trinidad for a long time was I don't like the term hotbed, but for lack of a better term, it was a bastion, a wellspring of Pan African thought.
Hmm. And for a while, Trinidad had the highest, what's it called? Sovereign wealth fund
And,
of
right.
any black nation in the world. Trinidad and Tobago, when it was in the heyday of its oil production,
Uh-huh.
Trinidad and Tobago had the highest sovereign wealth fund in the world. Therefore, under those circumstances, Trinidad and Tobago had a lot of latent power, but I
Hmm.
think that the power has been squandered now. And I have not been following it as closely as I used to because I used to be very closely connected with the Trinidad and Tobago community in this country. But as I've seen it shift over the years, the Trinidadians are gradually losing their sovereignty to the country of India, which the Indians
Yes.
have migrated to Trinidad and Tobago. They were originally brought in by the British.
Hmm.
Eventually, they started coming in on their own, and they seem to have taken over the sovereignty of the Trinidad and Tobago government
The
and their economy.
crime, exactly, exactly, and then simultaneously, the crime rate has also skyrocketed in Trinidad, um,
Hmm.
as of late, and that's
That's right.
unfortunate.
And of course, wherever you have these disparities in wealth income,
Hmm.
it is
Right.
expected that the capital crimes will rise accordingly. As
Right.
we've seen the gap between the rich and the non rich expand wherever it is in Chicago, Baltimore, Memphis, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, wherever we see this expanding wealth gap, we can see increases in capital crime. And so, poor people, we can't blame them. It's
No.
like blaming someone for being poor. But at the
Right.
same time, poor people need to have a coping strategy so that we don't see our families degenerate into capital crime, serious crime, and therefore end up populating the prison industrial complex even greater numbers.
Exactly. A healthy coping mechanism, a viable, holistic channel through which, again, one can use spirituality as a base, as a foundation to ground oneself and as a form of medicine so that one can weather these storms. I think we'd agree, Baba, that it all comes back to having a plan, because if it's not another pandemic, then it'll be something else. And so no matter what, it's always going to be important to have some sort of a plan. We're not going to be able to plan for everything. There will be curveballs that are thrown our way as a people, but we as a people, I think more than any other people on the planet Earth, are best equipped to handle curveballs when we're aligned, when we're healthy.
I say. And we're going to do the best we can with my new book, The Conscious Roots, Growth, Heritage, and the Biology of Being. And
That's right.
I'm really excited that this does give us some real solutions. I have more messages are coming in. I'm going to look over this other computer. Sorry about that. He
Hmm.
says, King Jason in the house, folks can't afford to just go gamble away their money. It's not just the political climate. There are a confluence of events, and I think that's referring to my statement that we're seeing Las Vegas being depleted from the inside out. And I
Hmm.
do agree with you. Queen Mother Kashiba has joined us. Oh, one more comment. He says European countries have been warning their citizens to prep for war as well as building bunkers. We are being told to spend money, worry about Epstein, to spend
Uh,
our time and effort worrying about
yeah,
Epstein. And yeah,
true.
I can't help but feeling you're absolutely right. It's distraction. It's not productive. What has been done has been done.
Right.
And so we need to move beyond it. Couple more comments. Queen Mother Kashiva, what did MGM get out of the deal in giving Melania Trump so much money for making that biopic documentary? Also, East Indians can be treacherous black people. And I do agree with that second statement. Yeah,
Yeah.
the documentary film Melania came out this past week and it was overwhelmingly ignored. So I guess it was MGM gave Jeff Bezos, this is Jeff Bezos really, gave Melania something like $27 million or more for that documentary film. They rehabilitated a film director who had been taken down in the Me Too scandal. They
Oh.
rehabilitated him to produce it on Melania.
Hmm.
And from my understanding, it's reported multiple times that so many people invited to attend did not attend the premiere, including Melania's own son, Barron.
Hmm.
So it is a massive flop, but you and I subsidize it as we do keep Jeff Bezos in the money. And the media is that I read, they're saying that Jeff Bezos basically just gave $27 million to Melania as a way of currying favor with the Trump family. And, that doesn't sound at all unrealistic to me. But that's a lot of money, at least 27 million. I think that's what she took home. It may have been even more spent on the movie, and they spent some 40 million making the movie, as well as an equal amount publicizing the movie, Melania.
Hmm.
And I saw it two times. Did you see it already?
No, I have not. I have not had a chance to watch it. I just caught up on Sinners. Actually, I just saw that.
Oh, okay. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I saw the commercial for
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
it. In other words, no one in the world in their right mind would go to see a movie about Melania
About
Trump.
Melania and Trump. Yeah, I
She
agree.
can she can barely speak English.
I'm sure there's 1,001 more productive things that I've got queued up on my list that are going to feed my spirit, my soul, my heart, my mind, my body. Then yeah, then like you said, then a documentary on Melania Trump.
That's right. That's right. We do have a couple more comments out of um, Gus is in the house. Can we speak to the squeezing of Cuba by the USA by way of cutting of oil supplies. Yeah, Cuba had been very close to Venezuela, and
Mhm.
so therefore cutting oil supplies between the deals between Cuba and Venezuela. Cuba had been enjoying the oil revenues from Venezuela, but Cuba was supplying massive medical facilities, doctors, et
Right.
cetera, et
Doctors.
cetera.
Yep.
And that's what the deal was. And so the invasion of Venezuela broke that relationship. And that's a relationship that needs to be put back together. Otherwise, both countries will suffer tremendously. Venezuela, by not having access to the massive Cuban offering of medical health care supplies and systems, etc. It's a beautiful offer, a beautiful gesture. Unfortunately, was disrupted by the beastly forces inside the U.S. war machine.
Exactly. No, I wholeheartedly agree. It's unfortunate, once again, the U.S. Having to find itself in the role of policing the world, so to speak, and it's quite hypocritical. It goes around telling other people not to bully anybody, their neighbors especially, and yet it does exactly that. It does exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
All
All
under
right.
the
And King Jason writing about Melania, he says she was a mail order bride for as a first lady. And what was interesting, Donald Trump reportedly was introduced to Melania Trump by Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm,
And I've heard some juicy rumors about how they were introduced. I'm not even going to repeat them now because I don't have any means of verifying them to be true.
sure,
So I don't need to be adding to that mess. But
sure.
yeah, she was reportedly introduced to, and we look at all of these connections between Trump, Epstein. There was a French modeling. He had a modeling agency,
Yes,
head of a French modeling agency, who
yes,
probably introduced them. You're familiar with?
I am. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but yes, he was inextricably involved with procuring models for Jeffrey
Mm-hmm.
Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yes.
I have a book sitting next to me by Raul Neframan called "An Afrocentric Guide to a Spiritual Union." Can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine? Can you imagine when someone asks, "Oh, how did you and your wife meet?" You said, "Well, there's this wonderful man named Jeffrey Epstein who introduced us."
Mm.
Can you imagine that in direct opposition to what a spiritual union is to our people?
Yeah. And when we look at both of those participants in that sham marriage,
Right.
Donald Trump, he is no prize. And
No.
Melania, she's a simple woman disguised as a sophisticated woman. And I have no problem with someone falling in love with someone from wherever she's from. I think it's from Austria or somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe.
I have
Yeah.
no problem with someone falling in love to a simple woman, but she is a predator and he is the prey, but he is the predator and women, all women, are the prey. So
Well,
maybe they got what they deserve. Maybe that's why she won't leave him.
you can put lipstick on a pig, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig.
Mm, 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 mm. That's deep. There are a couple more comments have come in, and Guvu said, I saw an infomercial that talked about parasites on or in the pancreas. It talked about conditions they cause, of course, where to buy their product. Yeah, I saw the commercial you're talking about. YouTube commercials are 60 to 80% crap.
Garbage.
And so the idea that now diabetes, which is insulin resistance, is attributed to a parasite, that you don't want to hear what I have to say about it because it's just really nonsense. I will, from time to time, take YouTube videos and attempt to verify them. And every time I do that act, they come up as crap. I started doing that with Dr. Gundry. He
Dr.
showed up.
Gundry, don't even get me started about him.
Get started, man. Get started. Talk to us about Dr. Gundry.
So Dr. Gundry is very good at making these compelling YouTube ads and videos and stuff like that. But he's using a lot of scare tactics, number one. And then I
Mm-hmm.
follow a doctor, a vegan, plant-based doctor by the name of Dr. Michael Greger. And
Mm-hmm.
he has a website called phenomenal website, fully researched, fully backed up, no corporate sponsors, totally independent,
Mm-hmm.
called nutritionfacts.org. And
Mm-hmm.
he has two videos where he is just completely refuting all the science, all the medical science behind Dr. Gundry's videos, and he just literally lays them to waste. And so
Mm-hmm.
my suggestion, other than LIB Radio, other than your books, Baba Kitty, is for people to check out nutritionfacts.org.
Mm-hmm. Nutritionfacts.org. I am familiar with Dr. McGregor as you talk about him, and I do completely agree. There are some doctors on the internet that do have a great amount of credibility, and we do appreciate them. While at the same time, we recognize some of them have these background foundations. Like if anybody's connected to the Weston Price
Mm,
Foundation,
mm.
I think they can be expected to do reasonable research, but is always connected to promoting animal fats and animal products, et cetera, et cetera. So um, if you're going to eat like that, then Weston Price Foundation may be serving you, but I don't eat like that, and I don't think you do either.
No, I do not. Not for the last
Yeah,
25 years.
I hear that. And for me, it's been about 38 years, and
Wow.
I'm not giving it up. I'm sticking with
Nope.
it. I'm sticking with it. Um, for the comment, we see Tao writing, YouTube ads suffer from liabilities because they can't stop lying.
Diabetes. Yeah.
Liabilities, that's beautiful. I do completely agree. And that's very profound. We got a good audience today. Good comments are coming in. And that was on YouTube. A couple more stories that I had pulled up. And I'm not going to stick with this too long because I'm having issues over here.
Yeah, I have to
Not only
leave
with
in
the
it.
computers, but just.
I have to leave early myself. In about 10 minutes, I have to sign off, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's get ready to wrap up. Um, Thousands demonstrate in Minnesota
Hmm.
and across the U.S. to protest ICE by Brad Brooks. This from Reuters News. They talked about the nationwide protests walking out planned over the fatal ICE shootings. I think those protests were planned for yesterday, I think, and I really don't have a report on how well they turned out. But
I, yeah, they threatened at one point.
ooh,
At one point, they threatened the use of a weapon called the Voice of God, which is a low frequency. I believe it's a low frequency acoustic weapon. And during the U.S. military invasion of Afghanistan, I believe it was called the Voice of Allah, and it is projected in such a narrow beam that you could select who heard the voice inside their own head and who did not. And I wish I could pull that up. I thought I had that up, but they threatened to use it. They did not use it in Minnesota. They have used it domestically, though. It is a military weapon that has been used against U.S. citizens, but they only threatened to use it in Minnesota, and to my understanding, they did not actually deploy the weapon.
okay, that sounds interesting. The voice of God, and ooh, I'm going to think about what that could. lead to, who that would be targeted at? Is it targeted at the masses of Americans, or is it targeted specifically at the Christian subsector?
Uh,
Who knows? I'm going to put another
mhm,
story on the table.
mhm.
I'm going to put one story on the table. Burkina Faso military government dissolves political parties. Reuters.com, World Africa News. So this story appears to be legit. By Reuters, January 29, Burkina Faso's Interior Minister Emile Zerbo said the decision was part of a broader effort to, quote, rebuild the state, unquote, after what he said was widespread abuses and dysfunction in the country's multi party system. He said a government review found that the multiplication of political parties had fueled divisions and weakened social cohesion. Before the coup, the country had over 100 registered political parties, with 15 represented in parliament after the 2020 general election. So let's just say this:
Mhm.
democracy doesn't work for all countries that attempt to maintain it. And from my point of view, Burkina Faso would be better off if it went more towards the model of governance, self governance set by Rwanda. Your thoughts?
I wholeheartedly agree. I would respectfully, I would alter that statement a little bit. I would say the idea of Western Eurasian-based democracy, or the idea
Mm
of their idea of democracy, does not work for our people, and that we already had indigenous forms of democracy, like the Gada system amongst the Oromo in Ethiopia, like
hmm.
the
Mm
Menden Charter, also known as the Kurukan Fuga in ancient Mali and ancient Ghana. And yes, I agree. The modern system of democracy, which was perpetrated in Rwanda after the genocide there,
hmm. Mm hmm. And
using indigenous methods.
I'm
Sorry,
reminded of Muda Baruka's reference. He says democracy. Actually, he says them all crazy.
them all crazy. Yeah, man. Exactly. I
Let's
did.
begin.
Mhm.
Let's
I
begin
did.
to wrap it up.
Sure.
You got the
I
floor.
thank you, Baba. I just between the delay and us having absolute mighty respect for each other, we're gonna make it work, and we have made it work. Despite all the technical difficulties, here we are, and
Hmm.
it's been a great show. I just want to quickly say that I put up in the private chat. If you could maybe bump that up into the comments. I did find the article, police deploy military grade voice of God battlefield weapon to shut down anti-ICE rioters.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful. I am going to copy, cut, and paste that for our YouTube family of you, and I'm going to put this up for our Rumble family. Are you here? Are you here? Are you here? I'll put it up for them a little bit later as well. Unfortunately, to I had to click out of that Rumble link, and uh, let me see if I can paste it up again.
Mhm.
And there it is. There it is. And okay, that link is up for everyone else. So that is very real. There's one more comment I want to share. King
Mhm.
Jason, the protesters are getting it backwards. The real protest would be to stay off the streets, empty the streets, and if you really want to organize, choose days when groups of professionals don't work. And that's a good point. Even though I would say right now, protesting in the streets of Minnesota, I don't cuss, but it's cold.
It's cold. It's cold.
It's cold. It is cold up there. It's below, definitely way below zero. I think it was
Yeah,
hitting double
yeah,
digits below zero there. And
yeah.
so
Especially,
if the people are going to protest, they shows just how determined they are.
you know, I don't want to be too mean, but we have to get beyond the hyper emotionalism of it all. The emotionalism ends up blinding us, and we're not able to think clearly. Not to mention putting on top of that all the chemicals that we're consuming, the ultra processed foods, the constant retraumaing that we're experiencing from the retriggering of all these news stories. You know, this 24-hour news cycle. You combined all that into one, and your medial prefrontal cortex, the executive reasoning function of your brain, is being atrophied. It's being shut down in such a way that you're not going to be able to make wise, discerning decisions in alignment
Hmm.
with the protocols of our ancestors. And so, again, I don't want to be too mean, and yet I think that what I'm seeing lots of times in the riots and the protests and things like that is it's just extreme hyper emotionalism. And look what happened to that Daniel Preddy. His hyper emotionalism got the best of him, and he was
Hmm.
seen spitting on ICE officers. He was seen trying to kick out one of the taillights on a car, uh, presumably while carrying legally carrying a firearm. But nonetheless, you throw a rock at a beehive, you're going to get stung. That's cause and effect. We need to be smarter than that.
That's right. And I believe his name was Alex Preddy.
Yeah, maybe Alex Preddy. My apologies. Yeah.
Well, don't apologize. Yeah, I agree. I think you're absolutely right. He did have a permit to carry a concealed weapon,
Hmm.
but in this case, the very advocates of the Second Amendment, the
Right.
very advocates of telling you to, or telling their people to get the permit and carry the concealed weapon,
Hmm.
those advocates have to now accept that he listened to them and it cost him everything. But it wasn't him carrying, it was the behavior of the law enforcement agents who were there, who two of the ICE agents that were suppressing him, there were about 10 of them
Right.
on him, but two
Right.
of them, as soon as someone said he's got a gun, they used that, the first justification, to
Exactly.
empty their guns into his body.
Exactly. He
So
should not have died. I want to be clear about that. He should not have died. Um,
that's right.
and yet at the same time, we have to be smarter as a people. We can't lose our cool. You talk about the deep cool. We can't lose our deep cool and then fly off the handle and start making rash decisions, because clearly the one with the gun and the badge is more often than not going to get away with it.
That's right. That's right.
That's been the demonstrated record. So
I'm going to let you go, and we're going to let our audience go. It's going to be a good day in your neighborhood. I'm asking if you all can hit the button that'll take you to the Conscious Rasta Press. The new website is up. I hope you like it. You can hit the LIBTV catalogs and things and go directly to it from the new website, as well as I do have a small collection of my books up there now. You can get the new book, The Conscious Roots. It's up there as well. And final thoughts do you want to share with your family today, Brother Dwara?
well, I would just say that we must get better at avoiding the traps of life. Ultra processed foods is a trap. Alcohol is a trap. Materialism, crass materialism is a trap. Hedonism, escapism is a trap. Let us study deeply the wisdom of our ancestors, and let us use that as our foundation, our anchor, and our guide, so that we can empower our future to be the best and glorious reclamation that we can ever set to achieve. Ashe. Thank you all.
I say thank you for your wise words. Thank you for your wisdom you bring every week to the mastermind. I am because we are, and we are the alchemists. I say,
Ashe.
y'all. Thank you all for tuning in today. You've been tuned in to LIV Radio, LIV TV, livinginblack.com. I'm excited to be bringing you the new website. And let me just put this up on the screen here. And we welcome all of you to do the best we can, to do the best that we can at bringing a new sovereignty to our people. And on that note, we are out of here for today. It's going to be a good day in your neighborhood, and that you can take that one to the bank. On your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIV Radio, LIV TV. We are living, truly, truly living in black.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.